Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And welcome to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. There are two things I would like to speak about today. Number one, Martin Luther King Day, as it relates to Star Wars. You're probably going to think I'm crazy, but trust me, there is a connection there. And to recap yesterday's Screen Actors Guild Awards and how they might relate to the Oscars, which also has a connection to Star Wars. Except the SAG Awards, since no actors in the recent film were nominated. But we'll get there in a second. So first of all, because it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I think it's important to talk about the social messages of Star Wars. Now, there's a lot we can talk about. But Star Wars is about hope. Martin Luther King Jr. himself was a hopeful man. Hopeful for a day where we can all live together in peace. Star Wars is about the hope of oppressed people fighting back against an evil system, an evil empire that wants to crush their rights to be free and be happy. Wow, if you think about it, the story of Star Wars at its core is no different than the story of the civil rights movement in the United States. Fighting oppression, fighting against an evil mechanized system that is impersonal and oppressive. A dictatorship where there is no freedom. The Rise of Skywalker shows us probably the biggest fleet battle in Star Wars. And there's that great scene where General Pride says, how can the Resistance fight us? They have no navy. To which one of his subordinates says, it's not a navy, sir, it's just people. And that's the moment when Lando has brought all the ships of all the hopeful people throughout the galaxy who have banded together to fight back against the final order. Palpatine's reborn order. They're a ragtag group of individuals fighting against an oppressive regime that wants to take that individuality away from them. It's a ragtag group of freedom fighters willing to stand together against nearly impossible odds. The story of the Rise of Skywalker is that if people have that hope, they will fight for what's right. Martin Luther King Jr. gave people hope. And with him, and because of him, the world is changing. Maybe it doesn't change fast enough. It's true. It's true. But we've got to keep the memory of him alive. And the hope that he stood for, hopefully, will give us the courage to fight back against oppression. That's what we need, to hold that hope in our hearts. Just as the Resistance did in the Rise of Skywalker. Just as the Rebels did in the original Star Wars trilogy. Holding on to that hope against impossible odds. It's no surprise to me that George Lucas subtitled the original Star Wars film A New Hope. That title, by the way, was added in 1981 for a theatrical re-release of the original film. Luke Skywalker and Leia are the hope of a galaxy in darkness. The hope causes people to fight back and gives people the courage to win. And that is exactly what we should celebrate on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So the second thing I'd like to recap, as we are 3 weeks away from the Oscars, I believe, is to recap last night's Screen Actors Guild Awards. The winners were those who I believed would win. Joaquin Phoenix in Joker as Arthur Fleck won Best Actor. Best Actress was received by Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland in Judy. Best Actor in a Supporting Role went to Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best Actress in a Supporting Role went to Laura Dern as Nora Fanshawe in Marriage Story. And there's your Star Wars connection right there. Admiral Holdo herself won the SAG Award, as they call it for short, the SAG Award for Best Supporting Actress. Not with purple hair this time. But so there's your Star Wars connection. And in probably the biggest and most pleasant surprise of the evening, Best Ensemble went to Parasite. The first time, to my knowledge, that a foreign film has won Best Cast. Which reminds me, I gotta get out and see Parasite. So, I do believe that these 4 actors who won these specific acting roles, acting awards, I should say, I believe that the 4 of them will win the Oscars. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but it's an extremely high percent of those who win the SAG Award win the Oscar. The reason why that connection exists is that in the Academy of Awards, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, there are different branches. Each branch nominates its own nominees. And therefore, the Actors branch nominates the actors for Best Actor, or should I say, for the acting awards. And then the entire Academy votes on the winners. But the nominees are chosen by the Actors branch of the Academy. Every member of the Actors branch of the Academy, like all actors in America and elsewhere, are members of the Screen Actors Guild. Last night's awards were the Screen Actors Guild Awards, where the entire Guild of Actors votes on their own, just like at the Oscars. So because every member of the Actors branch of the Academy is a member of the Screen Actors Guild, the correlation between the SAG Awards and the Oscars is extremely high. Now, it's not always the case. There have been a few occasions in the past where someone who won the SAG Award didn't win the Oscar. I believe that may have been the case last year. I believe so. I do know for certain that that back in 2002, Daniel Day-Lewis had won the SAG Award, and everybody expected him to win the Oscar. But the Oscar went to Adrian Brody and the pianist. Sorry, pianist. So I do believe that these four actors will win. And I was correct. I had to check. Last year, Glenn Close won the SAG Award for Best Actress, but the Oscar went to Olivia Colman. But the odds of it's extremely high. So it looks like these actors, including our very own Admiral Holdo, will walk away with Oscar gold this year. I have seen all four of those performances, and they are excellent. So those are my thoughts on the SAG Awards and the Oscars. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to all of you listening. Let's let the hope that can be found in the world give us the courage to stand up for what's right and not be afraid to seek justice, love, and peace in this world. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And thank you for tuning in to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.